As a prime example of what I explained in the previous video in this series, in Samaria, aka Samaritan Girl, the movie at number 5 on this list, the teenage sex worker who takes the name Vasumitra is one such character, a personification of the legend of Vasumitra which she recounts near the beginning, specifically of the Buddhist concepts and ideals which the original story was intended to convey in allegorical terms, and who in the film, through dying with a smile on her face, starts her best friend on her quest for happiness and meaning within herself, instead of always trying to find it through her friend and being so jealously possessive. In fact, by sleeping with the men with whom her best friend had sex for money before she died in order to return their money, the girl becomes like the Vasumitra of the legend, having sex not to earn money or even to return it, but to give true spiritual and emotional love unto others, and through doing so find peace, resolution and contentment within herself. And ultimately, although I still can't perceive or understand it myself, this is the reason why I can't dismiss the Zen Buddhist interpretation of bad guy, because even though on the surface Samaria is a film about underage prostitution, it is yet another exploration of love. And on the flip side of this coin as well, her police detective father's obsessive and quote-unquote protective compulsion to stalk his daughter, with the fact that she is having sex regardless of whether it's for money or not, eventually driving him to commit brutal murder because he is so distraught by the reality that she is not his little girl anymore and that her entire life no longer solely revolves around him, hating his daughter for destroying his self-serving conception of her and of their relationship, and thus taking it out on the men with whom she has sex. In short, this film is an allegory, no different from the original legend upon which it was based, with the message being that those who give love freely, whether it's through sex, family or friendship, will find peace, meaning, purpose and contentment within themselves in return, while those who seek to possess and cage what they love will inevitably destroy it, causing nothing but misery and suffering. As a matter of fact, the film could even be said to have two endings, the first in which, unable to let go or to accept the whore, in inverted commas, who he believes his precious daughter has become, he murders and then lovingly buries her as the final twisted act of possessive obsession which he genuinely believes to be love. And the second in which, having finally realised the depths of his mistakes, grown to embrace the true nature of love, and thus come to accept the consequences of his actions, he teaches her how to drive, symbolically setting her free before his colleagues come to arrest him. And yes, I realise that from far too many people's perspective, I have just spoiled the ending, and even worse, to add insult to injury, have effectively told you that this is the correct interpretation of the film, and that if you disagree with me, then you're wrong. But sorry, I'm not sorry, because as I explained in great detail in the previous video in this series, if you watch movies such as Samaria expecting a story which can be spoiled, focusing entirely on the superficial and the literal, asking painfully mundane questions such as where were Vasumitra's parents when she was dying in hospital, while at the same time failing to question the moral absolutes, assumptions, prejudices, and knee-jerk emotional reactions which films such as this are created to challenge, then Hollywood's that away. And the reality is that I am sick to death of hearing other people's insultingly one-dimensional interpretations of this movie, insisting that the girl's father was a hero protecting his daughter from exploitative perverts, how the film glorifies child sex trafficking, and that the two girls were obviously a lesbian couple based solely upon the infamous bathhouse kiss scene, apparently making Ki-Duk a misogynist, a child abuser, and a homophobe, exploiting their sexuality in every possible sense of the term solely for his own gratification and profit, when on the contrary, my friends, if everyone could please stop perceiving love solely in terms of sex for 5 otter paragliding seconds. Oh wait, that's the entire sodding point.